Former HONJ. The alleged horrible assault by former RHOBH actress Brandi Glanville on Rocco is being described by Caroline Manzo. The two participated in what was intended to be the fourth session, but it was cut short following a heated exchange between the women. More details about what happened that fatal night are now coming to light. For further information, continue reading. Since accusations from Season 2 surfaced, the RHUGT brand has been having difficulties. A paid actor who assisted Dorinda Medley at her Berkshire's home, Marco the butler, claimed he was sexually molested. He maintained that Phaedra Parks and Brandi Glanville went too far with him, but they contested this. Furthermore, Brandi disclosed that the only communication she had with him was to follow production instructions. She then appeared with Gretchen Rossi, Caroline Manzo, Phaedra Parks, Eva Marcille, Caroline Manzo, Vicky Gunvalson, and Camille Grammer-Meyer in Season 4 of G. Unfortunately, the trip did not turn out the way they had intended. Caroline fled on her own initiative, and before anyone knew it, Brandi was being sent home. An investigation was launched as soon as it was claimed that Brandi had sexually abused Caroline. Caroline sued Bravo and related companies, despite the fact that several members of the cast hurried to Brandi's defense. However, she chose not to sue Brandi, and it appeared that this season would never be released. Furthermore, it appeared that UT would be suspended in its entirety. People claim that the court filings have revealed new information regarding the alleged attack. While producers did nothing, Caroline Manzo said Brandi forcibly fondled my vagina. She continued by saying, Glanville was massaging her vagina against me while she was sexually abusing me on the couch. The producers continued filming while merely observing. They kept filming even though they could tell I was upset. Furthermore, Caroline claims that instead of restraining Brandi's actions, production continued to feed her more booze. After what had just happened, they also did nothing to stop Brandi from following Caroline into the restroom. Violence occurs. The more Caroline Manzo described the UGT experience, the worse it seemed to get. After the bathroom incident, she described what transpired. Glanville locked me in the bathroom where she forcibly fondled my vagina against my will after throwing me against the bathroom door and hitting my head when I attempted to leave. Furthermore, it is said that producers witnessed Caroline attempting to escape, but again did nothing to assist her. She acknowledged that someone tried to assist, but it didn't seem to be successful. The mother of two maliciously sexually assaulted me for her own sexual gratification, according to Brandi Glanville, by forcibly kissing me, rubbing her vagina on me, and then fondling my vagina against my will. During her pickup interviews, Caroline had requested that her experiences not be discussed. She had to experience the anguish and misery nevertheless because her wishes were not fulfilled. Brandi wants this to be seen by the public so that it can support her. Do you believe that this will have any repercussions? The fallout from Real Housewives' Ultimate Girls Trip Season 4 continues to reverberate through the Bravo world, but no moment has shaken fans quite like Caroline Manzo finally speaking openly about her disturbing experience with Brandi Glanville. After months of silence, hints, and speculation, Caroline decided to pull the curtain back and detail what she described as an uncomfortable, inappropriate, and frankly sick incident that forever changed her perspective on both Brandi and the franchise she once loved. Breaking her silence. Caroline, known to fans as the voice of reason and the mother hen of the Real Housewives of New Jersey, has always carried herself with dignity. When news first broke that she abruptly exited filming of the Peacock spin-off in Morocco, fans were left guessing. At the time, the only word offered was that Brandi had allegedly crossed a line. Caroline's refusal to comment publicly added fuel to rumors. Now, Caroline has chosen to set the record straight in her own words. Speaking in a recent interview, she revealed that her silence wasn't about protecting Brandi or the network. It was about processing something that shook her at her core. I was embarrassed, Caroline admitted, not because of what I did nothing wrong, but because of what was done to me. I didn't want to relive it. But as more people asked, I realized staying quiet just gave Brandi more room to twist things, so here I am telling it how it happened. The alleged incident. According to Caroline, the situation escalated during what was supposed to be a playful, lighthearted evening. Castmates had been drinking, music was playing, and tensions from earlier filming had eased. But Caroline insists Brandi's energy shifted from fun to aggressive in a matter of moments. She came up behind me, grabbed me in ways I did not consent to, and kissed me multiple times, Caroline recalled. At first I laughed it off, thinking it was Brandi being Brandi. But it didn't stop. It became forceful. It became invasive. I said no. I pushed her off. And still, she persisted. Her voice cracked as she explained the surreal feeling of realizing a line had been crossed. It was sick. It wasn't funny. It wasn't cute. And the fact that it was happening with cameras rolling, with producers standing there, made it worse, because no one stepped in right away. A housewife betrayed. What makes the situation even more tragic is Caroline's reputation among housewives. She's the maternal figure, the one who preaches respect and boundaries. To have those boundaries violated left her reeling. I felt betrayed, not just by Brandi, but by the entire production team. I've been around reality TV long enough to know drama sells, but this wasn't drama. This was assault. And the fact that I had to be the one to say, "Enough, I'm leaving," instead of someone protecting me, that broke my heart. Caroline described walking off set that night, shaking and furious. I packed my bags, called my family, and said I was coming home. I refused to let anyone convince me to stay. I refused to be someone's storyline at the expense of my dignity. Brandi's response. Brandi Glanville, never one to shy away from controversy, has issued her own defense in the months since. She's claimed her behavior was misinterpreted, that she was just joking around, and that she thought Caroline was in on it. On social media, Brandi has lashed out at critics, at times mocking Caroline's pain and insisting she's the victim of cancel culture. But Caroline says Brandi's attempts to minimize the incident have only deepened the wound. To laugh about it, to dismiss it, to suggest I was somehow complicit. It's gaslighting, it's cruel, and it shows she doesn't understand how deeply she crossed the line. The impact on Caroline. Caroline confessed that she wrestled with the decision to ever speak about this publicly. She worried about fans judging her, about people accusing her of overreacting, or about the story being reduced to a salacious headline. Women are shamed into silence all the time, she said. We're told it was a joke. It wasn't that bad, just let it go. But when you feel violated, when you feel unsafe, you have to speak, because if you don't, the cycle continues. Her family, including her husband Al and children Lauren, Albie, and Chris, urged her to reclaim her power. They reminded me who I am, that I'm strong, that I'm not going to be defined by what happened to me, but by how I respond. The fallout for Bravo, Caroline's account, raises difficult questions for Peacock and Bravo. Why weren't safeguards in place? Why did no one intervene? And why did it take public outcry for the network to even acknowledge the incident? They've built empires off of our drama, Caroline noted, but there has to be a line. Entertainment cannot come at the cost of human dignity. I hope my experience forces the network to put protections in place for every cast member moving forward. Rumors swirl that legal action could still be on the table, though Caroline wouldn't confirm. I'm not here to talk lawsuits. I'm here to tell the truth. Fans rally behind Caroline Sikin. Since breaking her silence, Caroline has been flooded with support. Fans across social media have called her brave, strong, and a role model for refusing to sweep the incident under the rug. Caroline is the realest housewife there ever was, one fan wrote. She didn't need to say anything, but she chose to so others wouldn't feel alone. That's powerful. Another echoed, Brandi can spin this however she wants, but Caroline's voice carries weight. She's never been one to lie. I believe her. What's next for Caroline? Though the experience has been harrowing, Caroline says she's finding peace in moving forward. She's focusing on her family, her business ventures, and reclaiming the parts of her identity that reality TV tried to exploit. Will I ever return to Housewives? Probably not, she admitted. But that's okay. My story isn't over. I'm stronger than ever. And I'm using my voice now in ways I never thought I could. As for Brandi, Caroline chose her words carefully. I don't wish her harm. I don't want revenge. But I do want accountability. I want her to understand that her actions were not just playful antics. They were harmful. and until she admits that, I don't see her changing. A housewife's final word. In the end, Caroline Manzo's willingness to speak openly about Brandi Glanville's alleged sick assault is more than a personal testimony. It's a reminder of the real people behind reality TV and the very real consequences of blurring lines for entertainment. Her story serves as a wake-up call to the network, the cast, and the viewers. Boundaries matter, consent matters, and silence only empowers the wrong voices. People call me Mama Manzo, she said with a sad smile, and maybe this is me being a mom again, teaching a hard lesson. Respect people's boundaries, or one day you'll find you've crossed a line you can't come back from.